בחור, כבוד הרב. חבר'ה, שיעור, כולם. Все на שיעור, 10 минут, полезная вещь.
So we were doing the Pele Yoetz. I just want to continue on the Pele Yoetz that we were doing.
Hello.
So we were doing the Pele Yoetz, and last time we spoke about, Shalom Bayit. Now, the next topic that the Pele Yoetz is going to go on, how the Pele Yoetz works, is that, first of all, he guarantees that whoever learns the Sefer, that he's going to try to help you in Shemaim also.
What is the subject about?
Today, it's always a different subject. He goes through Aleph to Top, and every week is a different subject. Last time was Shalom Bayit. Now we're discussing loving Yirei Shemaim and loving Talmidei Chachamim.
Means?
That people that have Yirei Shemaim or people that are Talmidei Chachamim, you have to have a special love for them. They're different than an ordinary person.
For tzaddikim?
For Yirei Shemaim and Talmidei Chachamim. Tzaddikim is a little bit harder to tell how you know who's a tzaddik. Only Hashem knows, right? Who's a tzaddik? You see what your eyes tell you. Your eyes tell you is a Talmid Chacham. Your eyes tell you is Yirei Shemaim. You have to give him more respect.
Короче, умного человека надо уважать.
I didn't say smart. I said Yirei Shemaim.
Yirei Shemaim, религиозный, который близко вот такие.
It says like this. אהבת לומדי התורה ויראי השם וכל ששמו גם היא נמשכת מאהבת המקום. He says the love that a person has for Talmidei Chachamim and the love that a person has for those people that are Yirei Shemaim, that fear God, comes from the love that a person has for Hashem. The meaning to say, when a person has a love for Hashem, when a person loves Hashem, a person loves Talmidei Chachamim, and he loves Yirei Shemaim, he loves people that fear Hashem. Right? If somebody really loves you, he also loves your family. A person who loves you, he loves your family. He loves your children, right? He has a special connection to your whole family. Just like if you love somebody and you have a very strong love for him, anybody that does something good for him, you will love this person also. Right? Like you love your child. Whoever does good to your child, you feel a special love, a special connection to this person. Why? Because you have love for your child. Right? So too also, right, if a person understands that the people that are learning Torah, serving Hashem, fearful of Hashem, these are people that are serving Hashem, people that love Hashem, people that their whole life consists of serving Hashem. So when people see these type of people, since you love Hashem, you will also love these people. Even the more, and also he says also, a person who has similar goals. Say a person wants to reach Lemut, a person wants to perfect his midot. Say a person has character traits that are not perfect, lack of patience, frustration, anger, arrogance, all these different character traits that affect everybody. When a person wants to perfect himself, a person wants to be above all of this, right? A person wants to perfect himself not to get angry anymore. A person wants to perfect himself to be more patient. So when a person is trying to reach perfection within himself in his spiritual goals, he also loves those that have the same type of goals. He also loves those that also live that same type of lifestyle. So when you're looking at somebody who's trying to reach perfection spiritually, if you yourself are on that same train, you will love other people on that same train. Right? He says, therefore, a person has to be knowing all of this that we just mentioned. A person has to love those people that learn Torah and love people that are fearful of Hashem. Right? A person has to love them to the point like his own eye, like the eyeball. You know how sensitive your eyeball is? You have to be careful with your eyes. You're very careful with your eyes. The same way, you have to love Talmidei Chachamim. Like the Chachamim tell us, the Gemara tells us a person who loves Talmidei Chachamim, his children are going to be Talmidei Chachamim. I told you a chidush I heard last week. I told you a story first. Right? Not tell you a chidush first. Right? So, it says by Avraham Avinu about the last test, which is the Akidat Yitzchak, when you have to slaughter his son. Right? What does it say? Hashem said, please Hashem, please Avraham, you have to pass this test, because if you're not going to pass this test, the Satan is going to say everything else before is also fake. And Shemaim, they're going to say everything else that you did before is also fake. So they ask, what do you mean? Everything he did before, why is it fake? Right? He went to the burning furnace, right? He traveled without even knowing where he's going to go to. His wife got abducted. He trusted in Hashem the whole entire time. He did Brit Milah. He did everything that Hashem told him to do, he did. Why does that all have to be fake? Because he's not going to do this one. He says, you know why? Because the test of Akedat Yitzchak was not him, it was his son. It was Yitzchak. It says if Yitzchak is going to be willing to give himself as a korban for Hashem, it shows that Avraham was real also, because it shows what was happening in his house the whole time. But if a person's children are far from where he is, that shows in his house also something was not genuine.
Makes sense.
Right? Something was not genuine. So that's why the Hashem said, this is the nisayon that's going to prove to everybody that you're real. Because in your house, this midah is with everybody, not only you on the outside.
They had a debate.
They
blah, 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 and he said them. He told them, no, he's going to do it. That's my guy. He'll do it.
He'll do it.
We want to see it. That's
Right,
why.
exactly. He proved this point. Right? The fact that he was able to overcome everything within himself to serve Hashem, that in of itself showed that he really loves Hashem. That he's willing to do everything for Hashem. The more a person is willing to subdue himself for Hashem, shows how much a person loves Hashem within as well. And that's how a person develops his zuchiyot. You see, from Avraham till today, we're still mentioning the zuchut. Right? But we see also one of the Chachamim, I'll tell you, Agav also, one of the Chachamim, one time it was, I forgot what his name, in like about 80, 90 years ago in Europe, I forgot what his name, very popular Chacham. He wanted to collect money for his yeshiva in the winter time when it was snowing. And his shoes were full of snow, so when he was going into the guy's house, the wealthy guy's house, he didn't want to make his floors dirty and wet. So what did he do? He went from the back, he went to the side door, right by the kitchen, and he knocked on the door over there. He didn't want to make the whole hallway over there. Right, so the wife, so she opened the door for him. She said, "Why are you coming from here? Come inside, sit down." He came and he sat down, and the wife went, and she told the husband who came. The husband got so angry. He told him, "Rabbi," he said, "I want you to go around and go in from the front door. I want my children to see that Torah is more important than my house, more important money. You make my whole house dirty. When Chacham comes, I want my children to see you're the most important thing." Right? When a person shows that Chashivush for Talmid Chacham in home, he's like, I want my daughters to develop this understanding that a Talmid Chacham is above everything. Right? I don't want them to think the rabbi has to go around not to make my floors dirty. So what? My floors is more important than the kavod of the rabbi? Right? So I don't want this lesson to be taught to my daughters. He said, please, Rabbi, go around and come in from the front door. Yeah, I get the point. I didn't understand the wording. Yeah, do whatever you want.
More important, that's a bite.
Right, exactly.
They sound very...
Right, exactly. I'll tell you even more. Right, it says over here that the main part of love is in a person's heart. To love Talmidei Chachamim in a person's heart. Right? But a person has to bring out that love and action as well. That what? If a person has the ability, he should be mafzik bi'aton lo mid Torah and Talmidei Chachamim. Meaning to say that what? It says, the Gemara says, I don't remember what it was, it says, Lo kol ochad zocheh l'shnei shulchanot. Not everybody is zocheh to this world and the next world. Some people only get this world, some people only get the next world. But for a person to have this world and the next world, there's very few people, it says. Not everybody can have both. Right? So if you see people that are Talmidei Chachamim and they're sitting and learning, not always are they going to have this world comfortably. Why? To have this world and the next world, you need a lot of zuchiyot. Not everybody can have that. So once a person is going already for the next world, he's going big in the next world, over there already, it has to be mistapik b'mu'atum. Ruba de ruba, most of the time, he has to just accept what he's going to receive in this world, whatever he needs to make it by. Why? Because to have this world, next world, not everybody has. So to also, if a person sometimes is very successful in this world, it might also be a very big indication that he might not have a lot in the next world. Right? To have this world and the next world, a person needs to have a lot of zuchiyot, the Tosfot says. Right?
So hold on. In order to get the other world, you have to have a lot of zuchiyot.
Yes, if in order to have both worlds.
Again?
In order to have both worlds. It says not everybody is zocheh to both worlds. Either or you can get, but to have both, not everybody is zocheh.
We get both.
So what did Hashem do? Hashem made it that what? The person that's sitting and learning, say if he has a relative or a friend that's successful in this world, they could share. Right? They make it sachar v'zivulun. Right? We need to say we have chesed. Olam chesed yibanen. Right? I'm going to sit and learn all day. Why? Because that's my purpose. It's not like people think, oh, these people are sitting and learning, they're not bright or something like that. The people that are sitting and learning are very smart. Absolutely. They're very intelligent. They're very clever. As a matter of fact, the people that are sitting and learning for a long time, that go out into business afterwards, they become very successful. And a lot of them, Baruch Hashem, are very smart, right? To the extent that these degrees that they get from Kollel or from Yeshiva after a few years, they accept them in every law school. I had a guy in my Yeshiva, he got accepted to Harvard Law School with the degree that he got from the Yeshiva with the credits. These guys are very magnificent, but they understand the importance of sitting and learning. If it's not for the Talmidei Chachamim, they're going to be sitting and learning all day, the world's going to cease to exist. The Kadosh Baruch Hu says, I created my world for there to be Torah, for there to be Yirat Shamayim, for people to serve me. If people are not going to be serving Hashem, there's going to be no point to the whole entire world. So these people that are sitting and learning, these are not just people that are, okay, like some people want to say, they don't want to go to work. And I want to see you try to learn 10 hours a day, sit down and learn 10 hours a day. Right, let's see. That it's easier to sit at work and to make this one and that one than to sit in one spot and actually sit and break your head and toil all day. So this idea is completely wrong when people think that, people don't. It's people that are sitting and learning are very smart, very intelligent, very capable. They're very capable, right? And it says not only that, a person wants to share. So the person, but not everybody wants to share. I know this very rich guy, I don't want to mention names.
But the person should share or not?
So it's a big machlokes how Yisachar v'Zevulun works. I know that there's a very rich guy. He wanted to come make Yisachar v'Zevulun with the Rosh Hashiva. Rosh Hashiva didn't want, right?
Translate this.
If we need to say we make a contract, I'm gonna sit and learn all day, right? And you're gonna support me, and we're gonna split. You're gonna allow me to live in this world without being focused on how. Right? This one very wealthy person offered to certain Rosh Hashiva.
Okay.
But the Rosh Hashiva didn't want.
He didn't want.
Because there's a machloket how Yisachar v'Zevulun works. Some say that you take away 50% of my reward. Some say no, you don't take away 50%. We split 100, right? Everything I get, you get. Since it's a machloket, some people are scared. They don't want to do it, right? They don't want to do it.
Depends how you look at it.
It depends on what the mitziut is. The Pele Yoed says that a person that's sitting and learning all day, he should give up his olam haba just for a few dollars. He says don't do it, right?
I agree with that.
Don't do it, right? But
if you want to support his yeshiva,
but there's a lot of other poskim. That's only talking about if you want to physically make a contract that I'm going to be sitting and learning. You're going to take a chelik of what I'm learning, and you're going to be supporting my physicality. I'm going to give you my spirituality. We're short of sharing, right? But the other opinions, like the Orach Chaim and others, say no. We receive 100, and if this person wants to support you and you want to sit and learn, it's a zchut for both of you. Why? You're able to get by standing and learning all day, and your wife can have her bills paid, and your kids can have this tuition paid without you having to sit and think how to support them as well, right? And at the same time, you're giving this person olam haba. After 1 he gets up to Shemaim, they're going to give him schar for holding the Torah. So some poskim say, no, you're both at gain. Why wouldn't you want to do it, right? So here and here. But Lamai said that a person says over here, a person should be very careful also if he wants to have that love for Talmidei Chachamim, to support Talmidei Chachamim. Everybody in accordance to what he can. If some people can physically support them, they should at least be there for them, to help them, whatever else they need, in order to be able to give any sort of support to Talmidei Chachamim, out of love and importance for Torah. Even the more so, a person shouldn't give tzar to Talmidei Chachamim, shouldn't give pain or anguish to Talmidei Chachamim. Why? Because the Gemara says when a person makes the Talmid Chacham upset, and he gets upset of a person, HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes the feelings of a Talmid Chacham much more to a serious degree, because it's much closer to Hashem. Therefore, remember, when somebody is upset at you, it could cause the person to get punished in life. Especially if a Talmid Chacham is upset at somebody, it might be even more, right, to be upset. But I'll tell you even more so, the Gemara says, not only the Gemara says that the two in the Beis Yosef, the Shulchan Aruch, they all bring it down, that a person that mevazeh Talmid Chacham, a person that disgraces the Talmid Chacham, is considered apikorus, right?
The person who disgraces
Talmid Chacham,
disgrace means
he belittles him. Like, who needs these rabbis? Come on, who needs the Talmid Chachamim? Who needs these rabbis? We don't need them. What do we need them for? Let them do whatever they want, right? The person that disgraces Talmid Chachamim, it says, En lo chelok olam haba. He has no share in the world to come, and not only that, he is considered apikorus. Apikorus is a very strong word to call somebody an apikorus. Is saying like he's a kofer. So the Mefarshim writes, why is he kofer? Right? We're not talking about a guy here who does every avirah. We're talking about a guy who can keep Shabbat. Guy keep.
Let's say the guy who doesn't keep the Shabbat, he's a normal person, but he does respect the Chachamim.
It's one thing doesn't override another. He's gonna go to hell for this, and he's gonna get rewards for this. Right? But the point being is that if a person is mevazeh Talmidei Chachamim, is considered apikorus, which is a very strong statement. Why is it considered apikorus? Why? It says because a person that degrades Talmidei Chachamim, what is he really saying? That the Torah is not important. That the Torah is nothing. When a person degrades Talmidei Chachamim, he's really degrading the Torah. And when a person degrades Torah, when a person is saying Torah is not important, he's considered an apikorus because he doesn't realize the value of what Torah is and how the Torah is the blueprint of the whole entire world. And without the Torah and without the mitzvot, without people serving Hashem, there would be no world. Right? So when a person disgraces Talmidei Chachamim, he's really disgracing the Torah. That's what's considered an apikorus. Not only that, he says, right, the love for Talmidei Chachamim is everybody, right? Not only somebody who's related to you, right? Even the more so, if you have a relative who's the Talmid Chacham, even the more so, you should try to be there for him even more, right? This is a problem, this is a problem that some communities suffer from, is that when they have B'nai Torah and Talmidei Chachamim developing within their communities, They don't give them emotional support. They don't give them physical support. They don't give them any sorts of support. They look down on them. So whenever you have a community where the Bnei Torah and Talmidei Chachamim are being looked down at, so the newer generation, nobody wants to be a rabbi, nobody wants to be Talmid Chacham, who wants to be like this. Everybody looks down on them, right? So what happens 1-2 generations later? When you're looking for rabbis, who do you find? Nobody. Why? Because the community never developed that area properly, right? And therefore there's going to be a big shortage. When you have a community where there's itchashvut of Talmidei Chachamim, you have kolelim, you have yeshivot, you have itchashvut, people support the kolelim, people support the Torah, people want more yeshivot. What's going to happen? Not only is there going to be a future generation of real Talmidei Chachamim, Bnei Torah, but even all the Balei Batim, all the men and women, all the children, eventually it'll start having an effect on everybody. Everybody will start changing, everybody will start growing. It'll seep itself into the whole entire community. So it's really one big growth for everybody. Right? And therefore it says over here, therefore a person should make sure that what? The person should be careful to make sure that the reputation and the name of the Kolalim, of the Rabbanim and the Avrechim should be something that should be something distinguished and respected, right? And by giving kavod to Talmidei Chachamim, you're really respecting Hashem as well, right? And therefore a person should be very careful to respect and give Talmidei Chachamim as much as he can. Where did I write over here? Okay. Amnam, right? It says that what? Sometimes a person will support a kollel, will support Talmidei Chachamim, and what would happen? He might look down at them afterwards, right? He might look down. Meaning to say, if you have a avrechim in a kollel, or you have a rabbi or something like that, and you're supporting him, or you're paying a salary, whatever it might be, sometimes what happens? You might look down on him because of that, right? Maybe not you, but other people might. Если человек платит рабаю, если человек платит, supported, это потому что он их supported, он на них вниз смотрит чуть-чуть, right? It says, a person should never look, a person should never look at himself, you see me?
No way.
Right? I support him. It says the other way around, right? It says more than what you're doing with them, they're really doing with you. Why? Hashem gave you the opportunity and the zechut to support him. Now you're receiving reward because of them. Yeah. Hashem is giving you a zechut that you have the ability to connect yourself to Olam Haba, to connect yourself to the proper, right? And you're going ahead and being misguided towards it. He says that you shouldn't do, right? Because the more you're doing with him, he's really doing with you. And not only that, he says what? The Talmidei Chachamim should also respect and give gratitude to those people that support him as well. They shouldn't say, hey, listen, everything's been Hashemayim, he's just a shliach, right? You should respect him and give him the proper gratitude as well. Like it says, the Rebbe and Rabbi Kiva used to respect wealthy people, even though they didn't need them, have nothing to do with them. Why? Because they saw that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave them the wealth that they had. That means that they had a certain chashivut in Shemayim. And therefore a person should know not to be kifui tova. Don't be ingrateful. Don't be ingrateful to those that help you. And especially if somebody has a sachar v'zvulun with you, you should even the more so go out of your way to try to teach them and try to sit with them and learn with them and try to help them develop and change and become better as well. So we should do a little bit of halakha. Should we do a little halakha? Okay. Halakha. Huh? Let's go like this. It's a mitzvah for a person to be one of the first 10 people in shul. Right? It shouldn't come in, Yishtabach, Baruch Shamar, Chazarat Hashah. Some people come by Aleinu. Right? I don't know if they came early for the next minyan or late for the previous minyan. I'm not sure. Right? I'm not so sure. Right? But this person should try to be the first one in the Bet HaKnesset all the time. One of the first 10 at the Bet HaKnesset. Why? It says one of the first ones there, you get reward for everybody that's going to come after you. You get the most reward, and you get the most dukhiyot when you're in the first ones in the shul. The main mitzvah is that you come there and you stay there to learn. Meaning to say, listen, you have to go there to be one of the first 10 and pray in that minyan. Don't say, okay, listen, I'm not the first 10 in the minyan I daven, but after I finish davening, I'll go to a different minyan where I'm the first 10. I'll sit for a minute, I'll read something, and I'll leave. I'll get the zuchiyot of everybody afterwards. No, it has to be in the minyan that you're davening, and you have to be the first 10 that come there and come and daven there. Right? Same thing by mincha, same thing by Arabit. For sure, korbanot. Every part of tefillah that we say, Rav Chaim of Volozhin writes, if a person says tefillah from beginning to the end, from korbanot to the end, it has the ability to fix every part of a person's neshama, and it fixes corresponding to every part of a person's neshama, the upper world as well. Not only that, And when a person says korbanot, it's like you're bringing all the korbanot to the Bet Mikdash, and the Zohar says the person that says korbanot every day gives him kapara for all his avirot. It gives him a
Even if he
tumnus.
studies himself, even if he does it on his own?
Yeah, even if it doesn't have
You
his
said
own.
from A to Z, from the beginning to the end. Because
Yes.
sometimes when you come over here, they read so fast, you cannot catch up. So
It's okay, you could start at home and then come here. You could say it at home before you come, and then come.
Let's say at home, you, alone. You didn't make the shul that day.
Same thing, say the whole thing.
It's done.
Say the whole thing, it's done, yes. Right? And then like that, a person says korbanot every single day, gives a person kapara for all his avirot. It's as if he brought korbanot to the Bet HaMikdash. It's as if he brought
If he
korbanot to the
said-
Mikdash. Korbanot every single day.
That's in the morning, get the hood from that.
Yeah, especially in the morning, right? And the closer, the faster a person comes to shul, the first time that a person comes to shul, that the earlier a person comes, the more kiddusha brings on a person's neshama. That means that when you first walk in, you're the first one, you just absorbed a lot of kiddusha. The next one, the next one, the next one. The earlier you come, the more kiddusha that you're absorbing, and the more you're absorbing that kiddusha that the shul has to offer to you. It says just like there's a mitzvah to be one of the first 10, so to also there's a mitzvah to stay last at the end. Don't leave right away. And if there's exactly 10 people left, don't be the first one out of the 10 people to leave. Because when there's 10 people, then the Shekhinah comes down. You're going to be the first one to leave, you're the first one to create a disconnection of the Shekhinah from the Makom. Right? And not only that, it says it's a mitzvah to run to shul. What does that mean? Not only it's shul, every mitzvah. Doesn't mean to run. Like a person has a business deal. Imagine you have a business deal today, you have a good deal going on, you have an appointment at 11 o'clock, right? You would be a little bit in a rushy tone to make a big deal, right? You wouldn't sit like this and take your time and risk getting there late. You'd be on top of it to make sure you get there on time. Not also any mitzvah. A person should rush to do mitzvah to get there on time, to do what he's supposed to do. Not only that, it says that what? It says the Shekhinah is connected to the Klal Yisrael, to the Jewish people in the Galut that we're in, because the 2 times that Avraham Avinu ran to do a mitzvah, right? For the 2 times that Avraham Avinu ran to do mitzvah, for those 2 times he was zoched that the Shekhinah will always be connected to Klal Yisrael and the Galut. So see, running to do mitzvah is not a small thing. Not only that, he brings the Zohar that says when we run to do mitzvot, right, it creates also in Shemayim that the angels, the good angels, also run to Beis Din to go and speak good about us. When we run to do mitzvot, it creates the good angels to come to Shemayim also and speak good about us and to be there for us as well.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. But what? You run only until you get there. But once you get into shul, how are you supposed to come into shul? You're supposed to stop a little bit by the entry. You're supposed to recognize where you're walking into. I'm walking into Makom Kadosh. You're supposed to say, V'ani b'rov chazdecha v'avdecha shach v'alech aloshecha v'yiretecha. There's a certain pasuk you say. And then you walk inside with fear. Right? You walk inside with a sense of more now. When a person stops by the door of the shul, and then he walks inside the shul, it says it helps a person come to shleimut. When it said there's a certain kiddusha that comes into a person at that time, that gives a person also the siyata d'shmaya to grow further in spirituality.
You come with a feel or you come with a love?
Both.
So why did you say feel, you didn't say love?
Because when you're coming into the presence of a king, you're supposed to stop for a moment. It's supposed to attract you from a certain sense of fear.
Yeah,
Sometimes when you're coming with love without fear, you walk in with too much love, it becomes a zoo also. You have to be careful. You have to be careful. Love always has to be with fear.
You have to have fear.
Imagine if your kids say you only love you, but they don't respect you. We love you, right? There has to be fear. There have to be fear also. There has to be a combination of love and fear in order to have a proper balance. If there's too much love and no fear, that's a problem. Right? There has to be a balance. There has to be love and fear. Yeah, exactly. Right? So when a person comes to shul, he has to walk in with fear. Shouldn't just walk in like he walked into a country club, right? Just walk like I walk into a country club. You have to walk into shul. There has to be a certain sense of morah, a certain sense of yirat shamayim. Since the day that the Bet HaMikdash was destroyed, this is the Makom Mikdash. The Shekhinah dwells here. This is like a small Bet HaMikdash every time you come. You come here to learn, to daven, to grow, to develop. Right? You don't come here to hang out and to chill. You come here to grow. You come here to become a better person. Come here to get closer to Hashem. This is the Makom Mikdash. It's like a Bet HaMikdash over here. So therefore, when you walk in, stop. Have a certain sense of fear. Understand where you're walking into when you walk into the Bet HaKnesset. Right? So the pasukim we mentioned, we'll do one more halacha, that a person should have a makom kavu in the shul. Every time a person comes to shul, a person should have a set place where he's going to sit. Don't sit everywhere else all the time. When you have a set place where you sit, you have a certain special siyata d'shmaya that it helps you also daven with kavanah better and better and better. Elokei Avram be'ezro. It develops a special siyata d'shmaya for a person. We need to say, but that day you sit somewhere else. Anywhere within 6 feet to your place is considered your place.
6 feet.
Even right next to him is also okay.
You sat in your place, it means you made that place such a special place that someone had to come and sit there. So you happy that someone
Yeah, we need to say, don't make a big deal out of it. Don't be one of those people that come and tell you, "Oh, he's sitting in my spot." Just sit somewhere else the next day and that's it. Not only that, one more thing. It says that when a person davens, he brings a certain kiddusha into a person's neshama that brings a person close to Hashem. When a person is sad when he davens, it doesn't allow that kiddusha to penetrate. A person is sad when he's praying, it doesn't allow him to connect. It doesn't allow that kiddusha to penetrate. A person has to be b'simcha. No, should daven anyways. But a person should connect, right?
Ты должен молиться с душой и с весельем. Если ты там начинаешь вот это вот и это вот, не идет оно.
Not only that, before you start davening, you have to accept upon yourself the mitzvah that I love every single Jew like I love myself. And if you know somebody that's going through a difficult time, you daven for them. If you daven for somebody that's going through a difficult time, it connects your soul to more of a holier place, and your tefillot reach of a much higher place when you daven for other people. Therefore, it's important for a person to daven for other people as well. When you daven for other people, it in of itself elevates your prayer to another level.
Other people?
Yes.
Means?
You know somebody that needs a refuah shlema, take his name, daven for him refuah shlema every day. You know somebody that needs children, you daven for their children. When you're davening for the people, when you're caring for the people, and your heart is connecting to other people in your prayer, you connect yourself to a higher source of kiddusha, and it elevates your prayer to another level as well. We'll stop here.